to the results of a major medical study and what could turn out to be a blueprint for preventing some cancers. This year alone, 11 million people worldwide will get cancer and 7 million will die from it. But a report out today says as many as a third of all cancer cases could be prevented through diet, exercise, and weight control. Dr. John LaPook has more.
While cancer's toll is universal, a landmark report finds it's more preventable in the United States than anywhere in the world.
Simply being overweight and obese is a very important cause of the high cancer rates we have.
For the first time, experts are estimating how much cancer could be prevented by exercise, diet, and weight control.
The cost of those illnesses add up to much more than the cost of a healthy diet.
Ironically, richer countries have more cancer, partly because their eating habits are worse. 67% of Americans are overweight or obese versus only 29% of Chinese. The authors say that better lifestyle in America could drop colon cancer by 45% and breast cancer by 38%. Far more room to improve than in a country like China, though its cancer is rising.
We are causing many of our cancers.
Oncologist Dr. Larry Norton says research is mounting that fat causes cancer. Almost 350,000 cases a year in America could be avoided.
Having fat in your body is producing estrogens, is producing other hormones, but also it stimulates inflammation. And that stimulation of inflammation may be the link between obesity and cancer.
64-year-old Norma DeCesar believes an unhealthy lifestyle played a role in her breast cancer.
I think I'll be a crusader forever because I think it can be prevented. Yeah.
The researchers analyzed 7,000 cancer studies, and this is the most significant correlation yet between being overweight and getting cancer. Katie?
John, thank you so much. John, we'll be back in a moment with more on this. But first, this was a worldwide study, and there's more dramatic evidence of the link between diet and some cancers as other countries adopt our bad habits. We have two reports, including one from China, but we begin with Richard Roth in London.
The report underlines a risk from low-cost food high in salt, sugar, and fat and predicts the recession will make it worse.
It's plentiful, it's cheap, it's easy.
It's so in your face, you can't really avoid it.
In Britain's slumping economy, the fast food business is booming. McDonald's here just had its best year ever. KFC's profits rose 14%. Domino's earnings are up even more. Following an American trend, fast food giants have promised healthier options. But what's most popular is still a burger and fries or a bucket of chicken. The British call it cheap and cheerful.
It tends to relieve stress because you're going out and you're not spending much money, but you're in company and you're enjoying the occasion.
With 1 in 4 adults dangerously overweight and nearly 1 in 5 children, Britain's catching up to America. And the government here is campaigning against an epidemic of obesity.
And eat better, move more, live longer.
Britain's even planning to lease or give away land to a list of would-be gardeners on the theory it won't kill them to grow their own food. Richard Roth, CBS News, London.
This is Celia Hatton in Tianjin, China. This country's receiving a wake-up call on the link between obesity and soaring cancer rates. At just 32, Liu Li is battling breast cancer. She's trying to radically change her lifestyle by rejecting fatty snacks she used to love. When I told my friends I had cancer, they weren't surprised at all and said, "Oh, you've got it too?" It's very common. Breast cancer cases have spiked up 37% in the country's richest cities in just 10 years. Studies predict 2.5 million cases by 2021. When China connected with Western countries, we imported their lifestyles too, explains cancer surgeon Jiang Jin. China's middle classes are dumping the traditional low-fat diet and ditching bicycle paths for the expressway.
There's a fear that unhealthy lifestyles will spread out of urban centers into China's rapidly changing rural areas, which have rarely seen these types of cancer before.
Experts say there's an opportunity to turn things around by preserving a time-honored lifestyle some have prized all along and a growing number could benefit from. Celia Hatton, CBS News, Tianjin.
We're back now with Dr. John LaPook. And John, you talked about colon cancer and breast cancer being reduced through lifestyle changes. What other cancers are affected by weight and lack of exercise?
About 60 to 70% of cancers of the uterus, mouth and throat, and esophagus are caused by lifestyle issues. Now, with cancer of the esophagus, it's felt that obesity increases acid reflux. Acid reflux causes changes in the last part of the esophagus that can lead to cancer.
And what about the 2/3 of cases that can't necessarily be prevented by lifestyle changes?
1/3 of those are from smoking. If you never smoke, you wipe out about 1/3 of your chance of getting cancers. Now, for the other 1/3, that's what we don't know, Katie. That's why we need a lot more research to figure out what's causing these cancers and what can we do about them.
John, I know there were 48 recommendations in this report. What do you think the takeaway message is?
The takeaway message for me is you can't do it by yourself if you want to be healthy. We need more exercise and walking paths, bike riding paths. In the schools, we need healthier foods, not so much junk food and vending machine food. And finally, people have to have more support from industry in providing low-cost fruits and vegetables. If you're in the inner city, it's very hard to eat healthily.
All right. John LaPook, John, thank you so much. And coming up next, right here on the CBS Evening News, on formal functions to charming students, Michelle Obama's putting her own stamp on the role of First Lady.
Our special limited time offer has just been extended. Stay tuned for details.
I'm Marie Osmond, and I was overweight. I procrastinated and procrastinated until finally I